Welcome back to the Old Colony Cast, a podcast about all things Plymouth and surrounding areas. I'm your host, Andy, and as always, joined by co-host Hannah.
Hi.
And we are joined today by our historian, producer, Fish. I'm saying historian because we're going to do like a little bit of a recap, so I feel like that.
Oh, okay.
Like,
I would like to. I did not actually threaten Andy that much to come up with a nice tease.
I just didn't have enough time to come up with.
Yeah.
It's the key.
You didn't like my last one.
So. It was pretty awful, and
It wasn't pretty awful.
it wasn't great.
Fine.
It's not your best work.
Well,
and
you kinda cut
considering
me
the
off
quality that's come out,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You cut me off mid-sentence.
yeah, it's because you weren't going anywhere I wanted to be.
Yeah. All right. So we have some recaps.
Okay.
Or like updates, I should
Yeah.
say. So one is just a point of interest in a past episode.
I hate when you bring these up without telling me about them first, by the way.
Okay. I will always do it that way.
I know.
So
Hate's a strong word. I don't hate
Oh
it.
wait, one of them is from sister podcast Inebri-art.
Okay.
I just now realized that. But we interviewed Jacques Z. Whipper
Yeah.
from King Richard's Fair.
A while ago.
Real name,
Jack Lepiard.
thank you. I didn't want to try to pronounce his last name. I'm terrible with names.
If he didn't say it 800 times a day on the radio, I have no idea. So.
But I regret to inform you, Hannah, he's leaving radio.
I already heard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's going to be Jacques Z. Whipper full time.
Yes.
That's pretty cool.
I've gotten some updates from social media about that.
Yeah. Are you feeling okay about that?
I feel okay about it because I spend far less time listening to NPR because I haven't commuted in a while.
Ah, I see.
So the time that I actually get to hear him on the radio is super limited already.
Yeah.
So
fair.
because of my shorter drive,
But I just thought that was interesting.
I think the Boston area will miss him for sure.
And it was literally, I was about to start that when I realized that was a totally different podcast. So
That's okay.
go listen to that podcast over on Inebri-art. It's a lot of fun. And it's one of our, I think it's our second most downloaded thing on YouTube.
Oh really?
Yeah. Like thousands of downloads.
Oh wow.
Yeah. He's a popular guy.
Yeah.
Also, we got a can I say butt ton?
Yeah.
Is that
allow it.
okay? All right. We got a butt ton of feedback from the Osmosis Joan episode.
Oh my God! What?
So, and a lot of it was just like, oh my God, I remember when that was filming here.
Yeah.
I was trying to meet Bill Murray.
Yeah.
That happened at the grist mill. I'm like, you should listen to the episode before you give feedback because we talk about that.
Yeah.
But we do have a Maggie. Oh my God, I should have stuck with Jack LaPerriere. Maggie Venetogoli Policelli.
Vantangli.
You know this person?
I know her sister.
Okay.
Gina. Yeah.
And there's another.
Good save, Hannah.
Yeah.
So this person emailed us.
Yeah.
Not just like commented, like emailed us. Took the
Yeah.
time to
She's
email.
emailed us before.
And wanted to say that the house on
Yes.
Osmosis Jones is 15 Oak Street.
I called it. I knew it was an
Yeah.
Oak Street house. Yes.
She
Thank
says
you,
she
Maggie.
vaguely remember an article about it in the Old Colony around. Oh, that's the newspaper, not us.
Yeah.
Around the filming, every time I drive by, I think of it. I was an extra in the science fair scene.
Yeah. See, I told you a lot of people were.
Yep, total bomb and terrible movie, but hilarious to see so many people I grew up with. It's always good conversation starter, filler story. I was an extra in a terrible movie. Said it was a fun episode, so thank you, Maggie, for listening.
Yeah.
Thank you for writing in. So that's, if you guys write in about stuff, we're going to read it
Yeah.
because it's fun.
Yeah. I
people
went
listen.
to
What's your last name again?
Vantangli. I
Yeah.
don't know her married last name. Vantangli is
It was not any easier to pronounce. It was
yeah.
like Opadelli.
I knew exactly what last name you were trying to pronounce. As
so
soon
it
as
could have
you
been that
started.
bad, right?
It was off, but I just happened to know that last name. Yeah.
I feel like if I'm saying something and you understand me, I got it.
Yeah. I think without having that knowledge already in my arsenal, I would have had no idea what you were talking about.
Every listener was shouting out
As
the last
I
name.
don't know, as someone who had no idea who he was talking about, I got nothing.
Yeah.
I said listener, not you. You don't count.
Everyone knew it was Van Damme. Yeah. No,
So that is the recap. So
I remembered something. I went through a very short list of the places that they filmed in Plymouth because they really didn't film in a lot, but I missed that they filmed in the crud. It's not called the Marina anymore, but it's the restaurant that's on the Marina.
Surfside Smokehouse?
Yes, they had a scene there.
Really?
And I totally forgot to mention it.
I'm gonna have to go back and
Not that that's even an important thing to remember that I forgot. But
also
yeah.
stumbled across. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick because I thought this was like really like this is almost to the point where I wanted to reach out to this person. Then I looked at how long the YouTube video was up.
Yeah.
Osmosis.
But
it's literally someone that was all right. So the video on YouTube is called Osmosis Jones Filming Locations, and it is by a Ben Lawrence. Mm-hmm. Do you know who that is?
it sounds familiar.
And the only reason why I didn't reach out, it was 5 years ago when this video went up, but it has 2.3 thousand views.
Wow.
So good for him. But it's like him like walking around trying to like set up the shots,
Like the establishing shots?
Yeah, no, but like the shots, like this is where the monkey cage, and this is like it was filmed from this angle, so you can see this part of the pond in the background. So it was pretty cool. So shout out to Ben Lawrence, whoever that is.
Yeah. It sounds familiar, but I just think I know people with that last name and that first name. So
It's not the most obscure.
no. The reason why I thought of the marina scene is because after I was listening to the episode.
Yeah.
And was like, oh my god, I didn't mention the marina because like a picture of in my memory bank floated to the surface of seeing pictures of Bill Murray at the marina.
Oh, at the marina?
In the marina.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense, yeah.
So I don't know if they're there anymore. I don't think they are.
Yeah.
I haven't seen. They might still have them tacked up somewhere for
Right.
like people who know. But
Do you know what scene it was?
they just went out to like lunch or something. Him and his daughter. It's a
And that's
really
what it's shot?
short scene,
Yeah.
and then it's again another scene where she's being makes it sound weird, but the daughter is trying to persuade Bill Murray to like
Not be disgusting.
not be disgusting, eat more healthy.
Yeah.
They're talking about her mom who had passed away,
Yeah.
and she's like, "You're gonna die just like mom." She says messed up stuff. So yeah, I don't know.
All right. You're going to have to watch that movie again.
Anyway,
It's been a
yeah.
while.
Not to do a whole nother Osmosis Jones episode.
So we're not going to do that.
Yeah.
But what are we talking about?
I wish there was a segue. There isn't. I can't think of one. Maybe because he had that egg. Was the egg in a container when he first had it?
Of course. So we're going to talk about chickens?
We're going to talk about Tupperware.
Tupperware.
Yeah. Someone put it on the list.
That was me.
It was,
That was fake surprise. You couldn't tell. I'm a great actor.
Andy's immaculate acting. So this is what happened. He was too good for Osmosis Jones. That's why he's not in the show. He's not in the movie.
I can't remember how I found out Tupperware was a local thing.
yeah, I don't know.
Like I just heard it somewhere.
I don't think I realized it was.
Yeah.
So we're going to be talking Tupperware or Tupperware brands, and then I don't even know what the heck it's called now. I'd have to relook it up, but it was invented by Earl
I mean, I'm assuming
Tupperware?
Tupper.
Tupper.
Oh, okay.
Tupperware?
Tupperware.
Yeah.
Got it. Yep. Makes
Earl,
sense.
Earl Tupper. Earl Silas
Old
Tupper.
Tups.
Yeah. He was born July 28th, 1907 in Berlin, New Hampshire, and he moved to central Massachusetts when he was young with his family and ended up growing up on farms. So I don't know. Guess they were farmers of some sort.
Central Mass. Makes sense.
Yeah.
He studied at Bryant University in Rhode Island and started a landscaping and nursery business. But due to the Great Depression, that business failed. He had to file for bankruptcy, and that led him to working at the DuPont Chemical Plant Company,
Okay.
where this like this is like the crux in the history of Tupperware, I guess.
This is like the interesting part.
Kinda. It's like if that hadn't happened,
So if the Depression didn't happen, we wouldn't have Tupperware.
that might be the case. Like he used black inflexible pieces of polyethylene slag, which is waste product from the DuPont oil refining company. And he figured out a way to purify and mold it into containers. And that's how he he got the materials he needed because it was a byproduct.
So he stole it from work?
Actually, one of his supervisors gave him permission to take what he wanted and do whatever he wanted.
That
with
guy
it.
probably got fired.
Yeah, it's like, here, take the trash and make millions.
Yeah.
It's probably there's trash, and he's like, hey, it's cool if I do. It's like when people, I don't know, I get employees that are like moving, and they're like, can we have the boxes? I'm like, yeah, go for it. Why would I
Like if
stop
you worked in a breakfast place and someone was like, can I take the eggshells to like compost? You'd be like, yeah, fine, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't.
That's probably.
Why do you bother me, Steve? I don't care what you do with the trash.
That's probably what happened, right? So, he took the pieces and was able to figure out a way to shape them into the containers that similar to what we see today. They were lightweight, unbreakable, which I don't know if I've had a Tupperware piece of Tupperware, because that's just what you call plastic containers.
Yeah, it's very like Kleenex or hacky sack.
Yeah.
That is just that.
Yeah, it got genericized fairly early, but
Right.
You never had Tupperware?
I don't think so.
God.
your
Ziploc.
parents probably almost definitely did.
I'm sure they
I was
did.
gonna say like my parents were like
Tupperware party people.
prime
You know what?
Tupperware era.
Yeah.
I think we have one piece of Tupperware, like soup container,
Yep.
Yep.
that my I think mother-in-law gave us something in one day.
My lunchbox in first and second grade was a Tupperware lunchbox,
Oh
Yeah.
wow.
which made me the coolest kid around. And it had like a little cup with a plastic lid instead of a thermos.
Yeah.
And I was became forced to be very self-sufficient. My mother worked overnights. My dad worked during the day. So there's a lot of time where like, just go make yourself lunch. Mm-hmm. So I'd make myself lunch in my Tupperware lunchbox. Did not fully understand physics and chemistry and yada, yada, yada. So the idea of making a peanut butter jelly sandwich and filling that cup with orange soda is not a good idea, because when you walk to school, you get there and it's exploded.
Spills,
And your whole lunch is covered in orange soda. It was a sad story.
Oh wow.
I'm sorry for your loss.
We lost a brave peanut butter and jelly sandwich that day. Might have been fluff. I don't know.
This is also a random factoid, but he also ended up making gas masks that were used in World War II.
Oh, okay. I could see that.
Yeah. So the creation of that liquid-proof and airtight lid, which I guess we're disproving now.
I mean, it wasn't.
If it
it wasn't
wasn't-
so
look,
much
it's-
air. It was airtight, and I think that's the problem, is because it built up so much pressure. If
Yeah.
it wasn't airtight, it would have let out some of that pressure.
It was more the issue of it was
I didn't mean to
Gotcha.
jump ahead. My lunch isn't in your notes, right?
No.
All right.
Yeah. But I was like, was it? I didn't get that it wasn't leaking. It wasn't a
No, it
factor of that.
exploded.
It exploded. Gotcha.
Because as I walked to school,
as it
Yeah.
turns out, taking soda and shaking it.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah. And not a, I mean, it was a sealed container, but I was like an elementary school kid. I could take the lid off. So
Yeah.
you could build up enough pressure where that's going to pop off.
Oh man. All right. So, the airtight lids were inspired by paint can lids,
Oh, okay. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, that tracks.
Yeah.
and is known for like that burping seal.
Yep.
Yep, that little ring in the middle that you push down and it
Yes,
pops.
that Tupperware is famous for.
Yep.
Yep.
Right. He founded Tupperware Plastics Company in 1938. In 1948, the brand was developed enough to be pushed into like hardware department stores, sold on shelves, which would not last long.
Yeah. Because there was
we all
Tupperware
know.
parties.
Yes. And the offices were located in South Grafton, Massachusetts. Where is that?
South Grafton. It is just below North Grafton.
I was just going to say below Grafton. I meant to look that up. I was like, where's Grafton?
I'm going to say Springfield area?
That's what I would think,
That'd be
right?
my guess.
All right, so South Grafton is...
Near Southbridge or something.
It is north of Northbridge and Uxbridge.
Yes.
And kind of southeast of Worcester.
Okay.
Oh, all right.
Kind of where I thought it would be.
Yeah.
So Tupperware to what we know it to be today, which you just said at Tupperware parties, right?
Yep.
That's what made it the thing. He partnered with a...
Was it the first MLM?
Kinda.
Yeah.
He partnered with a woman named Brownie Weiss, and she called one day and talked at length about how successful...
I like how exasperated you sound. Like, oh, God, that woman can talk.
Yeah. How successful... or how much of a success she had been having with selling Tupperware at people's homes or her home.
Yeah.
Using like that party kind of gimmick. This was such a good idea, and it really took off. She ended up becoming vice president of marketing with that idea.
Yeah.
Just a person that called in to talk to him.
It's a good idea.
Yeah, they marketed the idea. And yes, it was definitely pyramid scheme-ish.
Yeah. I mean, I just feel like all these companies do that now.
Yeah.
You know?
So, and I don't know to the point where, because there's the brands that, like multi-level marketing pyramid schemes are technically where the person who gets more people to be sellers under them makes the most money.
Right.
Right.
And basically, they require you to like buy like your setup.
Yeah.
To like sell your products. So you make, and then your initial investment.
Right. And I don't know if that's, I would imagine Tupperware works like that under in some way.
Yeah.
But definitely the main jab or like the first overall concept is, hey, we make a lot of money off these, like selling them to people who in their homes or
with their homemakers.
Or their neighbor's home. Right. So it was definitely a point of interest for stay-at-home moms. It was mostly white people that just were like in awe, shock and awe of these containers.
Yeah.
So some of the celebrations they have their annual like jubilee for
Tupperware Jubilee.
and it's like in major cities where they rent out like event halls and celebrate.
Oh, then like all the reps get together
and celebrate.
Be like,
woohoo,
sellers. Tupperware.
Right.
Yeah.
And then I don't know if this was, it seems like at some point it moves overseas and becomes a thing there. Before we get there, I'll talk a little bit more about what happened to Mr. Tupper.
Okay.
So they moved headquarters to Florida, and this is like late 1950s. And then Tupperware and Weiss, the person who's in charge of marketing, or VP of marketing, had a falling out, and this ended up in her being dismissed from the brand, I guess, in 1958. So the person who...
But they still ran with her idea, like...
Yes, yes. Oh, and I forgot to mention, so early 1950s is when they started the Tupperware parties. Weiss and this other couple, Tom and Ann Damigella, or Damigella, they took Tupperware out of stores altogether. So then the only way
to do it was the party.
Was with a Tupperware party. I forgot to mention that. That's kind of like
It made it exclusive.
Very exclusive, and really just... I don't even... Yeah, I'm like, I guess I don't see Tupperware being sold anywhere. That's still how they run.
As far as I know,
Yeah. So...
I didn't realize they were still in business, to be honest.
Oh, yeah, they are. So, after the move to Florida, Mr. Tupper sold the brand for $16 million to a company called Rexel. Soon after that, he divorced his wife, then gave up citizenship to avoid paying taxes on the sale of the business.
Jeez.
Bought an island off Costa Rica.
That sounds shady. You can't tax me on the money that I already made. I'm leaving your country.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like, shady. That is just. It's like, all right, taking my money. I'm out. Leaving the wife behind, leaving my citizenship behind. I'm going to buy me an island. Y'all, you do you.
So, 1969, he wasn't all take and no give. He donated 420 acres of land, I guess, that he owned in Smithfield, Rhode Island, to his alma mater, Bryant University, which they used to build the location that they have today. So, good for him. He did end up dying in Costa Rica in 1983. So, in between of that, after he sold it, they globalized.
Yeah.
It ended up being like all over the world, pretty much. Not in every country, but in a lot of places that kind of had the same
social
economic like standing as the U.S. So like England or around the UK, Australia, all the places like that.
Places where like throwing a house party to sell stuff was
made sense,
at least feasible.
Yeah. And they so in Europe or in the UK, I shouldn't say Europe, that's broad. In the UK, the employees had a very strict dress code. This is in 1960. So employees were women.
Of course.
We've kind of gotten that vibe, right?
Yeah.
They had to wear skirts with stockings and white gloves.
In white gloves?
Yes. And they also did door-to-door salesman like tactics.
Yeah.
And one of their like selling tactics was called the carrot experiment.
Okay.
And this is when, so they'd either bring, I don't know, who knows if they had people who had carrots there, but they probably brought them with them.
Yeah.
They'd bring carrots and say, store this one in in the Tupperware I'm giving you. I'm going to give you some Tupperware. Store a carrot in it.
Oh, so they give them like samples.
And then store a carrot how you would normally store whatever. Like, whatever you would put
in the root cellar or whatever.
However you would store a carrot. And I think kitchen-ready carrots, though.
Yeah.
So that's what they did. And then it almost always ended up with that person asking to host a Tupperware party because they saw how much longer life they had got from the carrot.
From the carrot.
That was stored in the Tupperware. So that was the Tupperware experiment.
Did they cheat? Something formaldehyde or something?
So, no, I just think Tupperware works.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering. I mean, it's old timey. You hear about old timey stuff all the time.
I really do. Yeah, I think Tupperware. I think when you air seal a vegetable, it lasts longer. Yeah. So I don't think they did anything shisty with it. Also, to be fair, I feel like carrots, if you don't do anything with them, are a vegetable that are
they do hold up pretty.
Yeah. I feel like it's a long experiment.
Yeah. So the company itself it was that thing, I forget what company we most recently talked about, and it definitely wasn't Fluff, because Fluff had some longevity to it, but it was like another company we talked about where I was like, I'm not going to bother talking about how much it was bought and sold and bought and sold and bought and sold, because
it wasn't Benny's, was it?
No, but Tupperware is one of those companies
that's just like constantly purchased by somebody.
Holy crap! Yeah. Yes, so that's their like since the 70s. It has just been modified, changed, but something that hasn't changed is not seeing Tupperware on shelves.
Yeah,
in Tupperware parties.
I was just poking around on the website.
Probably Dunkin' Donuts.
Yes, it was Dunkin' Donuts.
Right. That makes sense. Yeah. We had so much Tupperware growing up.
Yeah.
Like, I vividly remember, like, we had a thing that was for deviled eggs, which, like, how specific of a container is that?
Yeah.
We had, like, the cake thing.
Yeah.
My aforementioned lunchbox.
Ooh, we had an ice cream one.
Ice cream?
We have a Tupperware ice cream container.
We didn't really have
Which
a lot of plastic containers.
Weirds me out because at no point in my life
Like, why would you take the Tupperware? Like,
have I ever taken the ice cream. I think this is back when you used to be able to get ice cream, like instead of it coming in like the tubs it does now. You guys remember it used to come in a cardboard box?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I assumed it was like you would get that, you would open it, and then you would basically just dump the ice cream cube into the Tupperware.
Okay.
I don't know why I assumed to keep the ice cream getting freezer burned, but usually I just ate it too fast and it didn't matter.
So,
something funny to show.
Couple other things that I remembered about Tupperware was, one, the pickle container. Like, I love pickles.
Yeah.
But it was like, so you buy your jar of pickles and you dump them into the pickle container, and it had like a little, so it was like a green rectangle with a clear lid, but it had like a little hand thing, so like you basically like lift up and it would take the pickles out of the juice, so you didn't have to like stick your hand into the pickle jar.
I've actually seen some like newer versions of that.
Yeah, but they also did toys, which I forgot. And so, just out of stupid curiosity, I just hopped over to eBay and typed in Tupperware, and it completed for me vintage Tupperware.
Yeah.
Let's see, vintage Tupperware Harvest Orange Nesting Canister Set. So it's a set of 9 canisters. What would you guess the going rate?
What are they used for?
General food storage.
9 canisters on eBay.
Yeah. Don't search for
So
it.
that like $100.
$135.
All right.
The vintage Tupperware boat. Now this is a toy, and there's like 4 little, almost like Fisher Price figures.
Yeah.
$1,500.
You should have let me guess that one.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Look, I'm not looking to cheat. I'm looking to see what I have in a cabinet that I can sell for money.
Oh, you're doing work.
So
Oh, it's the Pickle Keeper.
the pickle keeper.
Shut up.
How much is it?
All right, so the Pickle Keeper. This one's different than the one I had because it's almost opposite. This is like a clear container with a green lid. Mine was the other way around. Tupperware Pick-a-Deli Pickle Keeper 3-piece set, vintage, $110.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Are we rich, Fish? Can we sell all your Tupperware?
I'll give it a rummage.
That's crazy.
So I'm seeing one for like $10.50.
What?
Like
Pickle Keeper? I just found one for $50, and that's the one I had.
Oh, okay.
I'm not going to spend it. I'm just being nostalgic.
Yeah, sorry.
As we derail Hannah's episode.
No,
as we search eBay.
No, it's really good because I really was just going to talk about like where the company is at today and what rummages people have in their houses left of Tupperware. So this is perfect.
Oh my God. I remember that strainer. I had that strainer too. Everything we had was like green, orange, or brown.
Yeah, those were the colors of the time though, for a while.
It was the 70s. This is what you did.
That's too fun.
Oh God, the yellow. I found the yellow
strainer.
No, I mean I have that.
Do you?
Yes. No, the yellow.
Steal it from you.
No, I literally used it like 2 nights ago.
It's great. It's a great strainer.
It's perfect. Yeah. It's got the little like pour things on the side. Yep. It's great. But no, I found the yellow tubs that I've used to keep pasta sauce in for literally 40 years.
Wow.
It's the same yellow.
Is it stained?
A little bit.
Because
after 40 years.
Yeah.
But you know what? I think what Tupperware kind of might have the edge on some of the brands.
Tupperware does not stain easy.
That's what I mean. Like the other brands out there that kind of adapted and adopted what Tupperware was doing with plastic containers, right? Because Ziploc is like probably the common one. People just grab the 9-pack of Ziploc, whatever.
That's kind of disposable, but not really.
And those stain like crazy.
Yeah, they do.
So, and I was on their website just checking it out, and they do a lot more than just their plastic Tupperware now, too.
Yeah.
They have like glass pieces, and
it's not the same.
Their whole bit is still just to like modernize and be current with organizational standards of your food and keeping it fresh. But I know I was reading some of the stuff. Different from the other brands that I've looked at and we've talked about, they didn't have like a history page.
Oh, interesting.
Which is, yeah, so I like really couldn't find, most of the stuff I found out was just on Wikipedia. Like it was like same stuff you would find out from anywhere else on the internet. And yeah, I was like shocked to see that they didn't have like a little history section. And they talked about like
especially
the company,
for something that's so old.
Yeah, they talked about the company, just like its longevity and that it is from Massachusetts. But I just kind of thought there would be more because like between like Dunkin' Donuts and Fluff, like they have some really good.
Oh, I found a Tupperware Brands Our Story page.
It's not that great.
It's a paragraph and a half.
Yeah.
Guys, you've been around for nearly a century.
I'm still strolling through eBay,
So,
being like,
like,
oh, I had that.
I'm not saying it's not that great. I'm just saying I think for it, I was shocked to see it after having so much detail from other brands represented online. And
we also had the red Tupperware seasonal server marinade keeper.
Oh,
We had
nice.
that, yeah. It's a little red plastic thing, but there's little bumps on the bottom.
Yep, got those.
Yep.
Had the little corn thing.
like the corn on the cob.
The corn
There was a
butter?
corn on the cob, not a butter. I might have been a butter. It was like a corn on the cob tray, but it had like a tray on the inside that you could lift out
Oh.
to like you could have like the corn steam. But you'd pick it up so like the water would kind of sink to the bottom,
Gotcha.
Yeah.
so it wouldn't be like soaking in its own corn
We had the
juices.
butter. Now I'm not a corn person, but you would put like the little pad of butter. You didn't think this episode was gonna be this long, did you?
I just, you guys are like
Hannah's just like-
reminiscing.
God, shut up.
No, I don't
But
care.
it was almost like it was similar to like a garlic press,
Yeah.
and so you would like press the butter out through, and like it was shaped to like match the curve of the corn.
I do not think I had one of those.
So you could. I'm not even done yet, bro. This is just like the opening. It's not even the high finale of this phenomenal piece. So you'd like butter your corn by like rubbing it up and down like and then you'd flip it over because the pushy down part was a salt shaker, and then you'd shake out the salt that you wanted,
Wow.
which I always wanted to do, but I don't eat corn. So
It's like Andy doesn't want to eat corn; he just wants to butter it for people.
pretty much.
Love that. So your both of your experiences with Tupperware is shocking. We did.
It's still in my house.
We did not have many plastic containers in our house, if any. They sure as heck weren't Tupperware either.
Andy is now showing me a photo. I do not have one of those.
Yeah.
Can you show me?
Yeah.
Now recognizing
You
that.
can get a set of 5 for like almost
50-something bucks.
probably $60 with shipping.
Yeah.
But yeah, now that I'm recognizing
I also don't like corn on the cob, so it's kind of wasted.
that Tupperware is like the brand
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
not.
Like the thing.
Yeah, we definitely didn't really have any Tupperware in my house.
Yeah.
We were a big foil over the bowl that you made it in.
Oh.
So, or just like no leftovers. We really didn't have a lot of leftovers in my house, or like stuff that people were trying to save from when they cooked.
Yeah, my mother wasn't a good cook. I think we had a lot of leftovers.
See, for us, it's like for me, it's a lot of salad bits.
Yeah, I think, and I don't know if like
So funny.
this was intentional, but we also, my family wasn't like the best at eating leftovers, like us as kids.
Oh yeah,
I
that's
don't like
yeah.
them.
Because they weren't kept in Tupperware.
Because they
if they're
weren't-
kept in Tupperware, you'd be like, oh, these are fantastic.
These are
I think I'm
great.
going to buy my sister a corn butter for Christmas.
So, but Tupperware, like I said, I have the one piece, and it's because it was from not just my mother-in-law, like saying like, "Oh, here's this to bring home."
Yeah.
She moved into like Johnny's grandmother's house, which had when she passed away, all of that. So
Yeah.
that house is loaded with. I mean, all the classics, but Tupperware being one of them, like among like different Pyrex sets and stuff like
and
that.
I think Tupperware is the reason why we have like those cheap Ziploc ones. Because you'd always be
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
mad, like, because you'd send someone home with that leftover, and you'd be
Yeah.
like, "Yo, you gonna bring back my Tupperware?"
it's like why that thing cost me like
Yeah.
$18.
And now with the
That's so
Ziploc,
funny.
you're like, "Whatever." I
it's
don't care.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's so true.
You can get one of the for like $7.
The corn butter, I know.
Oh no, not the corn butter. The strainer.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's a good
Let
strainer.
me see the strainer.
Okay.
It's very yellow.
It is entirely yellow.
Oh, okay. I've seen that.
Yeah.
Again, not anything I had. I remember the lady
Literally used it last night.
who babysat
2
me,
nights
I think,
ago,
had a
no.
lot of actual Tupperware.
Yeah.
But I've heard of Tupperware parties, obviously. I think that's just like,
Yeah.
I don't want to say common knowledge, but if someone says Tupperware party, you just know what they're talking about.
I think
It's a cultural shorthand.
it's a cultural
Yeah.
shorthand, and I think it is very generational.
Yeah. And then,
Like,
but I didn't.
My kids probably would have no idea.
yeah,
I didn't know, but
yeah.
I didn't know anyone who had them in the
like
90s.
I'm gonna go on the assumption that Hannah is very much at the, I don't want to say tail end,
Yeah.
but like she and her parents are probably like at that tail end of it being a cultural touchstone.
Yeah.
Like, I think my parents are older than Hannah's. I know your parents are older than mine. So it kind of tracks that like our parents would have done it, and then it kind of wasn't as big a deal in the 90s.
It was more of a solitary entity.
Yeah.
Like there was Tupperware parties and that's it. And now there's like Pampered Chef.
Yeah,
and
There's so many
Party
things
Light
like it.
and
and all that, everything else that kind of joined the space that Tupperware was,
yeah.
I mean, very much pioneering.
Yeah.
That was a good episode, Hannah.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was very nostalgic.
Yeah, I'm glad.
Like I didn't even expect it to be, but
That's awesome.
that was fun.
Yeah.
Glad I could bring it up.
Yeah. Glad I added that to the list from wherever I heard that it was a Massachusetts thing. But I think this is the part where we stop talking. And thanks for checking out the show today, listeners. If you enjoyed the content today, you can go over to patreon.com/Inebri-art to support the show. You can join over there for just a few dollars a month and help us provide this fun content that you just checked out. You can also email us at Inebri-art.com with your questions, complaints, and concerns, or you can find us on all social medias at Inebri-art or at Inebri-art6 on Instagram. And also don't forget to check out our other shows, Bar Talk Podcast, Old Colony Cast, Inebri-art, and all the other shows on the Inebri-art Network, which you can find at Inebri-art.com. Thanks again for listening.